I'm answering some questions about the process of downsizing and some questions that I'm getting about why we decided to do it. So I look at life in like different seasons. You're moving in and out of specific seasons and events and changes, and you're kind of flowing in and out. And if you're stuck in a season that you just sense that it's time's coming up, like I knew ahead of time things are going to start like something's changing, and I need to go with that, go in that direction. Like God's prompting me to change, and ultimately it's he wants to give you the desires of your heart. It's usually us that are we're not willing to let go of something because we're worried about what's around the corner, or we're just not ready. We're holding on to the past. It's a lot of times it's stuff from the past that is robbing our future, because we carry it into the present, and the future becomes our present. And so it's like we're just lugging this all over the place. Like we feel like, oh, if we let go of that, and it's going to destroy us, or we're going to miss out. And really, you're not going to miss out on anything. Like I'm here to tell you that you are going to feel liberated. The more you walk away from that's not serving you, the lighter you're going to feel. The more you're going to be able to live, like breathe, and feel a fresh renewing in your spirit. Like with every ungripping, you're going to feel fresher and lighter. You have to allow yourself to like reset from your past seasons. Like you have to, because there's so many busy seasons. It's hectic, with raising kids and buying a house and working, and maybe you're in the corporate world and you're transitioning in and out. Like you need time to breathe and say, okay, what worked and what didn't work? What do I want more of and what do I need less of? And so I'm in a point right now where I want more of the good stuff and less of the lower things. The lower things meaning like the cheap things, the things that steal my time, the little annoying, things, the things that collect dust. I want less things that collect dust, and with that, it's like, well, I need to have less space, because the more space, you're either cleaning or you're hiring somebody to come in and clean, or you're decorating. It's just more responsibility. And right now I want that less obligation. The obligation of being like, I have to do this. I just hate that feeling. It's like people expect I have to show up for that person. I have to show up to that birthday party. I have to do all this. It's like, you don't have to do anything. You want to get to the point where you are allowing yourself to live. I get to enjoy this beautiful day because I decided that I didn't want to be part of a corporate world that stole my time, that I was then trading the time for stuff because I was so stressed out that my therapy was shopping. So it was a cycle that I was in. I had to work so I could spend. I had to work so I could diffuse that pressure that I was under. At one point we had 2 cars, because then we're like, well, we both have to work. We have to work to maintain a lifestyle of getting, of always doing. And, for a while, it's like there's different seasons, I guess. But for me, I just didn't want to be in that season my whole life. We had a house. It was great. It was cute. It was fun to personalize. And we did a lot of landscaping and yard work. And we changed a bunch of stuff. And then one day we woke up and we're like, we hate this area. I hate the area. And the house might be nice, but the location sucked and it was just going downhill. Well, that was our fault because we bought a house in a location that we didn't want to stay in. But we just moved. And a lot of people ask if I own or rent. We rent right now. It allows us to really just be more flexible with life and seasons than owning does. And I know there's both sides. People say, well, you're not owning anything, you're just wasting your money. But what I'm gaining is time, because I don't have to do anything to the house. I don't have to wait for landscapers. I don't have to replace if the AC goes. I don't have to worry about remodeling. I'm not waiting for plumbers to come. I just lock up and leave if I want to go somewhere. And we positioned ourselves to a place where we could just live. So it's easy to live a healthy life when you're not consumed by your house. Like the amount of time that your house steals from you, you're living for your home, basically. You're like, if you broke it up into hours, just break it up. How many hours are you spending on your house. It's like a full-time job. So your house then becomes your God, your most important thing. Well, my house, my decorating. And on Instagram, there's all these like jokes. I like stuff. I like this stuff and that stuff. And, oh, my husband says I shouldn't buy this anymore and I shouldn't do this. And, I'm going to buy what I want and I'm going to do. It's like all these rebellious middle-aged women that are like, I'm going to do whatever I want. I don't care what anybody says. I'm going to make my house a home no matter the cost. And it's like, okay, well, do that then. Keep adding, keep consuming, and eventually, and see how you feel. Like, this account and my Instagram is not about that. It's about creating an elevated space with mindfulness. You're still going to buy stuff, of course. Like, I'm not going to like just live, I'm never going to spend a penny. You're still going to buy what you love. It's your space. So you want it to feel good when you're in it. It's reciprocating to you. So if there's something that I'm like, I walk by every day, this cabinet that I have, I love it. I love the cabinet. It's my one place that I redecorate the shelves, but that's it. There's no other like shelving to decorate because if there is more shelving, there's more dusting, especially open shelving. And then there's more to buy to fill. And then you're like, does that look good? Should I change this? Should I change that? Well, it's easier just to get rid of the shelf and have a space. So I give myself that one big cabinet, and that's my one that I style. And that's it as far as shelving goes. So it's mindful spending. It's mindful shopping. It's living with intention. And it's knowing like, okay, how much more do I need until I'm satisfied? How much more shopping do I need until I actually like my life? So it's just a mindset. You have to snap out of that and you have to think, you know what? Forget all this. I'm going to just live my life to the fullest as my best self. And it's not like, I'm just going to live my life to the fullest and make myself happy and do whatever I want. It's not in a rebellious way or a self-indulgent way. It's in a disciplined way. I'm going to be my best. And being my best means that I say no to certain things. I say no so I could say yes. Being my best means that I intentionally take time to enjoy the life that God gave me. I intentionally take time to cultivate a healthy lifestyle. I say no to the lower versions, the lower things, the things that are stealing my time. Same with people. You say no to the people that want to, suck you dry and take all your time, steal your peace and joy, and just complain and use you as a sounding board. You have to set up boundaries. You have to set up boundaries with yourself. So if it's hard for you to set up boundaries with yourself, then you have to almost like trick yourself. You have to like, what I had to do was when I first cut up my credit cards, it wasn't just cutting them up. I had to close the accounts. When I first did that, I would find something. It's always at night. This is the worst time to shop. You're in the middle of the night. You're half asleep, half awake. You see something that some influencer posted. Oh, I need that. And you buy it and you're not really thinking clear, right? So I would be like, oh no, I have no way to buy it. There's gotta be a way. And I would like dig. There's gotta be one card there's gotta be one little like avenue that I could use to buy this. And most of the time there wasn't. I'm like, if I spend it through my bank, my husband's gonna see me buy it. If I don't have any cards, could I do like a payment plan? Like what? So could I open up another card? I just close these. It was like an addiction. It was a total addiction is what it was. And a lot of women struggle with that because their desire for that item is a FOMO, like their fear of missing out on that. I have to have this. I'm not going to love my life or my space without it. And if I don't get it, I'm not going to, I have to have it, like, or whatever. Just because somebody said this is a must-have, it's not a must-have. And most of those people, there's a difference. There's influencers, like I've just kind of morphed into one, which I wasn't intended, but it's sharing things that I find useful and beautiful as opposed to just sharing everything just to get some sales. And that's the difference, is a lot of these women are making bank. If you knew how much some of these influencers that have 1 million followers are making, they're making it off of people like you who are just mindlessly shopping and indulging. You're fueling them. You're making them. And most of them are rude. They're not nice people. Most of them are really snotty and really rude and think that they're better than everybody. Whatever. That's just my experience with Some of them, not all, but some of them. So it's really, and I understand it's a business for them, but when is enough? Like, when is enough? You're just pulling people into a cycle of doom is what you're doing when you're promoting and pushing like that. And I just can't stand that. It's like, it's gross. I don't like it. Be authentic and be real. I see things that are just like the most ridiculous things that people fall for. Oh, I must have that. I remember a lady showcasing, and I did a parody in one of my parody videos. Well, it was my only parody video. But this lady did those can koozies or whatever you call them, and it was like, oh, I'm 50 years old, and she was like, I'm drinking a beer, but it says Mountain Dew. Ooh, like I'm like, I'm a rebel, and look at, instead of this beer, it's a Coke. And I wrote in and I said, well, that's misleading to kids, because what if a young kid picked up and said, oh, I really like this. This is a Coke. I'm going to drink it. Or I'm going to have a sip of this Mountain Dew. And really, it's a beer. And so now they're getting alcohol because you think you're being so cool by hiding what you're drinking. What a stupid thing. What a waste of money. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard. And people are like, oh my gosh, so clever. No, it's not. It's ridiculous. And you're buying junk, plastic things to put over your aluminum can to trick everybody into what you're actually drinking. Who cares? It's the stupidest thing. And so I wrote that, and a lot of people were like, yeah, that's a good point. Well, the lady, she got mad at me, and she was like, well, you can see it as a negative if you want to, but I like to show it as a positive. I'm like, I'm seeing it how it is, realistic light, not anything different than, hey, what if a 5-year-old grabs your soda, your can that they think is soda, and it's beer? Obviously, a sip of beer probably won't kill him, but the whole thing is just stupid. So the fact that women fall for this, like, oh yeah, I need to buy that. And it's like $15 for 4 of these little rubber things that you put over. What a waste of money. Stop spending your money on junk. Like, that's the whole thing. So I just unfollowed her because I'm like, this is stupid and I can't support or promote. And I'm not going to write in and be like, oh wow, what a great idea. You were so clever, Get a life. That's the thing, like, let's be real and be honest with each other. I've had people call me out on things. Okay, well, it is what it is, and you have to be willing to adjust. You have to be willing to say, like, would I buy this? Is this something useful? Am I just getting somebody to spend their money on junk? Because they're just trying to get sales. That's all it is. You get 100 sales, you're making their pocketbooks bigger, and that item, the person who bought it, it's going to end up as clutter. They're going to think, oh, this is so fun for a party to trick my husband into drinking something else or whatever. Well, it just ends up as clutter in your drawer. More junk, more clutter, more things to go through. So the goal is to snap out of that cycle, snap out of that mindset, like come up higher. Like come up to a level where you're not competing with anybody. You're just running your race. You're doing what God called you to do. There's clarity there. So you're looking for the clarity, you're looking for the truth, you're looking for, like, what are some things that I can do to make my life better? Because that's going to make my kids' lives better. It's going to make my husband better. Like, if I'm in shape, I'm going to feel better about myself. If I feel better about myself, we're going to have more sex. Because a woman who doesn't feel attractive usually isn't intimate with her husband. I mean, it's just the way it goes. You feel gross. You're like, oh, I'm a big cow. I don't want him to see me. Turn the lights off. I'm not attractive. Well, you feel gross about yourself. So then, and it's not just being in shape. It's also like feeling, maybe you feel guilty because of your habits, which makes you eat sweets or carbs because you're in a state of anxiousness or anxiety, or you're trying to hide the packages that you just purchased from him so he doesn't see it. And he's like, is this new? No, I've had that for a really long time. Ha ha ha. You're not fooling anybody because the results always tell the truth. That's the thing. We have to realize the results of our life tell the truth. We could justify it however we want. We could say we're not doing those things when we really are. We could act like everything's fine, but deep down we're miserable. We hate how we look in our clothes because we're not prioritizing our life. So if a female, you don't feel good about yourself, your whole marriage is messed up from that. Not only your hormones are messed up, it just messes everything up. You're snappier at your kids usually. You just don't feel good. And I don't know any woman who's like, yeah, I feel great being out of shape, because it's not just the physical. Your body doesn't feel good. You know when something's off. You're like, oh I got gut issues and joint issues and skin issues and hair issues. I know this because I went through, I had hormonal issues, mineral deficiencies. My hair was falling out by the chunk load. Couldn't believe, because I everything was out of whack, because I had spent so long, it finally caught up to me, of chasing these trends in this being in a constant pursuit and trying to fulfill. It's like the easy way. Well, I'll just buy a cute outfit to make me feel good. I'll just buy these shoes to put my fat foot in, or this outfit that's too tight. Well, I'll go up a size, make it so it feels loose. The reality is I just needed to get to the gym. I just needed to cut my shopping and be mindful of my eating. I needed to take responsibility and be honest with myself. Because all that other stuff is doing is just masking the issue. It's just keeping you in that cycle. And if you have all these friends that are like, oh yeah, I had people that, you look great. I'm like, no, I don't. Please don't say that. And they would say about my husband, oh, he looks great. No, he doesn't. His body fat was very high. It's not great. You're looking for people that are like, hey, you can do better. You got a great shape, and really you could feel better and do better. And it's healthier for you. You're going to live longer. You're going to, be an asset to your kids, not a liability, because you're going to be able to do things as you age that you otherwise might not be able to do if you don't start taking care of yourself. That purse and that vase and that pillow cover, those aren't going to help you as you age. You have to get moving, and you have to prioritize your life. You have to create a simplified life if you want to feel good and really run your race. To run your race, you got to be able to move. So it's a whole big thing that I wish more people were talking about, but I'm going to continue to talk about it as I go through it, because when you hit your 40s, and I'll be 42 coming up here soon, things change. The things that you thought were important in your 20s are not important. The things that you thought even in your 30s, you just change. You get a little wiser. You think, you know what? I'm going to make better decisions, and I'm going to do it for my family, myself, my community, and I'm just going to honor God with my life. I'm going to honor him with my decisions. I'm going to honor him with my money. I'm going to honor him with my body, with my health, with my words, with my mindset. I'm going to spend my life honoring God and not living in compromise. And that's it. And that's really end of story. So everything lines up with, I'm going to honor God. And if it's not honoring to God and my family and my spouse, and it's not uplifting, and it's not doing something beneficial, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to engage in it. You just draw a clear line of what you're willing to involve yourself in, and what you're saying no to, because it's the fuzziness of, well, should I do this, or I don't know. It's the fuzziness that sometimes keeps you in something that you shouldn't be in. It's the indecision, which creates a cluttered state, which actually produces a negative on your nervous system, because indecision messes with the nervous system. You're either in or out. You either want a simplified life and you're willing to do what it takes. You're going to say enough is enough. When you do that, you start looking at everything as being like a disgust. You're like, okay, I'm disgusted with all this stuff that's robbed me. I got disgusted with my credit cards. I'm like, these companies are stealing money from me. I can't believe the interest is 32%. But then I realized I was allowing it. So it made it really clear on what I was willing to allow and not allow. Remember, you can't be a victim in a problem that you're creating. And if you're continuing to create that problem, you're going to have to deal with the consequences of it. It's like plain and simple. There's no big magical mystical thing. It's just plain and simple. If you continue to engage in things that are going to cause stress and going to cause problems and going to cause wasted money and wasted living, then you have to deal with the consequences from that. So at some point, you got to pull back and say, what am I tolerating in my life? Because whatever you continue to tolerate and allow, you're never going to change. So in order to change it, you have to reach the point that, you know what, enough is enough. It doesn't matter the season, doesn't matter if it's in season, out of season, doesn't matter my age, doesn't matter the economy, the this, the that. It doesn't even matter that that person hurt you, or that you went through that difficult time, or that you have to forgive. Even forgiveness is a part of letting go. Let go of these things. Stop carrying it around, all these burdens of the past into your future. And for a period of time, you're going to probably live in the residual of the past because you're cleaning it up. So just stay quiet during that time. You don't have to expose it to everybody. Like, if you're going through the process and you're in the process, don't feel like you have to explain it to everybody, because that will just make it harder. Just quietly do it. Go through it. If you have one or two friends that are going to motivate you and really help you to go through it, then lean on them and confide in them, because a good friend will help. The wrong voice can really mess you up. So just quietly go through and do what you got to do, and you're going to feel so good when you come out of all of that.